Okay, guys, so this video is going to go on the main training page here, the Blue Zone training page right here. And as you know, I have the 4 videos here that outline the process, how to set up the indicators, how to identify the higher time frame trend bias, and how to draw your fib retracement on the higher time frame, which is the 4 hour, as you learned in this video, for trades going with the higher time frame trend. Then this is our Blue Zone trading entry model 1. That's the only model we're using right now, where you wait for price to move into your Blue Zone, then you wait for a buy or sell shift. And all this stuff is outlined on our Blue Zone strategy process sheet, which is the link to that is right there at the top. This is the video I'm making right now. I'm going to replace this outdated, this older video here where I didn't explain this properly. So this is our Blue Zone trading counter trend. Okay, so this video is going to show you how to take the counter trend trades. If you watched my alert video for next week, I went over at the beginning of that video. I went over some of the trade setups from last week, and there's some counter trend ones there as well. So the idea behind the counter trend is this. And the counter trend is maybe for more advanced traders. Maybe if you're first starting out, you just might want to start with the higher time frame Blue Zone trading strategy, which is with the higher time frame trend. As you see here, this is USD JPY. We had determined that our daily and 4 hour time frames were both the trend bias were both bullish, right? So we had determined that on the daily and the 4 hour, and then we drew our 4 hour fib from this swing low to this swing high. And we're waiting for price to come back to that 153.095 level. The problem is it can sometimes take a while to get there, right? So that's where dropping down to the 1 hour chart, as price is coming down, if you can find an area where you get a good change of character, which was basically, this, maybe not so much this low here. Maybe this low here is actually the better change of character right here, because this pullback here really isn't that sufficient as it moves higher. But once you get this move down that closes below this change of character area right here, then what you can do is you can measure a lower time frame fib on the 1 hour chart from this swing high to this swing low, which is, you see what we did here. And now you have another blue zone to trade from, and it's the lower time frame blue zone, and it's a counter trend trade. So essentially what we're doing is we know the price is eventually going to get down to this area here. This is our higher time frame blue zone, right? So that we can take a buy position, right? But could take a while to get down there, and we may not have any trades go off for the week. So we could possibly take a counter trend trade using the lower time frame fib zone, right? And that's what this is right here. So essentially, we got the change of character here, right? Price, we see price moving up, right? Making higher highs, making higher lows, okay? And, you could say you get a change of character here if price moves below there. I like to use this area down here because the pullback was a little bit more sufficient. Although this pullback here doesn't look that bad either. Either way, whether you use that area or this area here, you're still going to go ahead and measure this fib zone here, right? And the reason why we have to wait for the change of character is because if you just get a minor pullback here, like to this area here, then price can just continue its upward movement because that's the way the higher time frame is going. Okay. And if it does that, then we just move our, we just adjust our higher time frame fib. In that case, we would have to go to the 4 hour chart to do that, right? And we would just adjust our higher time frame fib. right? But that hasn't done that yet, but that's something that could happen. Okay. So we have to wait for this change of character here. We have to wait for this move down. And then what we're hoping will happen is price will work its way back up to our blue zone before then making a bigger move back down and getting to our higher time frame blue zone here. So that's exactly how this strategy works. So it gives you a lower time frame blue zone on the 1 hour chart that you can trade from. But again, you have to wait for the buy or sell shift, right? You still have to follow the entry model one. You still have to wait for a buy or sell shift before you can enter a trade on the 1 hour chart. Okay. But this gives you a counter trend trade, right? But again, you have to wait for the change of character on the 1 hour chart coming back to your blue zone. And then you can draw a lower time frame fib on the 1 hour chart, and that can give you a blue zone alert, which is what we have there at 156.077, which I went over in the trade alert video I did earlier today for the week of 11/17/24. So that's what you're doing. So essentially, again, we move to another area of the chart here, right? We have price on the higher time frame in an uptrend, right? Right. So this is the higher time frame. So we have the higher time frame here in an uptrend. We identify this swing low here on 4 hour chart. Say we're on the 4 hour time frame here, and let's just say this is 4 hour, right? We draw our fib zone from here to here, and then we wait for price to come back to our 78.6, which is our blue zone. And then once it comes back to here, right, we would drop down to the 1 hour chart. We would wait for a buy shift to enter that trade. Okay. But, it could take quite a while to get down there. Let's say this blue zone's even further up here, right? Prices moved even further up, right? So now you have an area here that is roughly about almost 300 pips, right? So you have to wait for price to move almost 300 pips in order for you to possibly take a trade. So that's where now you drop down to the 1 hour chart, right? This is your higher time frame blue zone. Let me just explain this to you. This is your higher time frame blue zone on 4 hour chart with higher time frame trend, right? That's how this works. So that's what that is. This is your higher time frame blue zone, right? On the 4 hour chart with the higher time frame trend. Okay, so let's just make this a little bit bigger here. And so now what we're waiting to do here is, this isn't moving. Oh, it's because I already moved it all the way that I can. So now what we're waiting to do is, let's just do this. Now we drop down to, let's just say the price made comes up to here, gives us a little pullback here. Let's just say price, on the one. So now this is what it looks like. I'm sorry, here, let me just draw this again. So again, this is what it looks like on the 4 hour chart. Price is right there. Now let's say when we drop down to the 1 hour chart, we see the price structure looks a little bit different. Okay. Maybe on the 1 hour chart, price, kind of pulled up to here, then it makes this move down, and then it goes higher. So what it does here on the 1 hour, right? And again, this line here is the 4 hour, right? Let's move this back up here. This line here would be what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame, right? So on the 1 hour time frame, we get this area right here where we can get a change of character, right? So this is where we can get our change of character, or as you'll see it called a choke a lot of times. So now on the 1 hour time frame, on the lower time frame, we simply wait. We have to wait for this change of character because why? Because price can just pull back a little bit, like I told you earlier. Price can just make a little dip here, and then it can just continue upward like it's been doing, right? So we wait for this change of character here. And then maybe it comes down, pulls back a little bit, and then goes down further, and we get that change of character. So now on the 1 hour time frame, we can draw our lower time frame fib, right? From here to here. Okay. And so here's our alert down here on the higher time for the higher time frame, right? Right. That's our blue zone alert on the 4 hour with the higher time frame trend. That's our higher time frame blue zone alert. Now we also have a lower time frame blue zone, right? On the 1 hour, which is what it is counter trend, right? It's a counter trend trade. So now the idea is to wait for price to come back to the lower time frame blue zone. And then once it comes into that lower time frame blue zone, you still have to follow entry rule number 1, which is you'd be waiting for a sell shift in this situation, right? So you wait for price to come back into your lower time frame blue zone, right? You wait for a sell shift, and then you take this down, right? And as long as you're not taking a trade inside of the higher time frame blue zone 50% retracement, the higher, right? That's right here. As long as your trade's not executing down in this discount area, then you're still okay to take the trade down, right? Right? So you wait for price to come back, and then you hope to take it down, right? Okay. Now, again, this might not happen exactly like this, right? So let's try to get rid of some of this stuff. But that's one way to put, right? Okay, maybe what happens is on your lower time frame, you don't really have a good area where you have a change of character, right? Maybe your lower time frame, maybe your change of character is all the way down here. Okay. And then as price moves up here, right? You have to, your change of character is all the way down here, right? So in this case, you may not want to take a counter trend trade, right? Because your change of character area is already below the 50% zone on the higher time frame blue zone. On the higher time frame fib retracement, your change of character area is too low. Okay. But that's a little more advanced. And again, the whole concept of trading against the higher time frame trend is more for intermediate advanced traders anyway. If you're brand new, you're a new trader, then you're going to want to stick with just taking the trades with the higher time frame trend. However, if you've been trading for a little while, then you're comfortable understanding market structure, knowing that eventually price has to get back down to this blue zone area before it may move higher. And so with that knowledge in mind, you know the price has to come down here. So you just have to wait for conditions to be right. And that's dropping down to the 1 hour time frame, waiting for your change of character. then drawing a lower time frame fib on the 1 hour chart, which is what I showed you earlier. So this is how you take the counter trend trades. I will do some more training on this, but let's just go back here to the actual chart here, right? And so like I showed you, we drew, just to do a quick review here, we drew out our higher time frame fib, which gave us our blue zone, right? Which is our higher time frame blue zone on 4 hour chart, which is trading with the trend, right? As I told you, let's just put that here again so you understand that. Higher time frame blue zone, which is on the 4 hour chart with trend, or actually with higher time frame trend. Okay. So as we're waiting for price to get back down here, right? If we get this change of character on the 1 hour chart, which we get, right? This blue zone was drawn here on the 4 hour, right? Now we wait for price to come down to our 4 hour blue zone, and we drop down to the 1 hour to take our trade. We would wait for our buy shift, right, to enter, but we can also drop down to the 1 hour and wait for a change of character, which we get here in USD JPY right here on Friday when this 12 o'clock candle closes below that low right there. That gives us a change of character. Okay. Which you'll see a lot as CHOCH, right? So now once we get that change of character, once price stops and then starts to pull back, right? Now we can draw our fib, and the fib here is drawn on the lower time frame, on the 1 hour time frame, right? And that's what we've drawn right here. And now, like I showed you earlier, we now have a blue zone alert right here, right? And this is the lower time frame blue zone on the 1 hour chart, right? And this is counter trend. This is counter trend. Okay. And you would try to find a trade that you could take counter trend as price moves down into your higher time frame blue zone area. Okay. So that's the strategy. That is the counter trend blue zone trading strategy. Okay. And again, you will be watching this video from this page right here, SorianoBlueprint.com, blue-zone-trading, right? When you're on here, this video will be right here, okay? So this will look different because this says blue zone trading counter trend 71 fib. That's not correct. The blue zone is always the 78.6 to the 1 area. That's actually wrong there. So that's the video, guys. Any questions, drop them down below. Remember, if you're ready to start trading Forex today, join our community. Just click this link right here. We have some bonuses right now that we're offering. And if you need to see any of the right here, if you click this link right here, this will take you to the update videos as I make them, right? You can see right here that I have to fix this page up, but you have the blue zone alerts here from last week, the video from last week, and here's the video I just did today on 11/17/24. So any questions, get in touch with me, guys. Have a great day trading the blue zone.